I can explain. On top of being a YouTuber and a student, I am also a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Take it away!
In all seriousness, guys, I just got this helmet in the mail. I had been waiting for it off Etsy. I ordered it off Etsy like 2 months ago, and it came earlier than I thought, and I excitedly put it on my head. And then I realized that I completely messed up my hair for this video. So instead of putting on a baseball cap and calling it quits or just looking like crap, I thought I would rep this drippy Rebel cosplay because I want to. So if you enjoy Star Wars, enjoy, and if you don't, I hope you find it amusing as I continually adjust this chin strap and sweat while I talk about technology on the internet. But yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Today we're doing another casual tech video where I answer some of your questions about a tech combo that I think is elite. We have the iPhone 13 mini here. Let's see if I can make Face ID work. Oh, still works with the helmet. I don't know why it wouldn't. And we have the iPad mini 6. They both basically take the best things from iPhone and iPad and shrink them, and I have really enjoyed using them on a daily basis here. So I'm gonna share some of my experiences with you here. This chin strap is already stressing me out. And I'm also gonna answer some of your questions along the way. I posted a community post, and yeah, let's get started. So our first question comes from Matt Millirock, and he asks, for someone with a nomadic lifestyle of traveling all the time, would the portability of this combo make much of a difference compared to the regular size variations? Like, is the size difference a significant factor when choosing this combo specifically for its portability? Anyway, I would say yes. I would say choosing these form factors is a deliberate choice. Having a small phone is really great when stowing it away in a small pocket, or just if you don't want it to take up a lot of space in general. And the iPad mini, the same thing goes for like carrying a smaller bag if you're really on the go a lot and you don't want to carry like a backpack or a business bag, or I don't know, just whatever. This is gonna fit really nicely in a smaller size pocket, or like maybe like a men's size pocket, maybe like in one of these pockets on this BDU jacket that I got for this cosplay. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it does make a difference. Although the 6.1-inch iPhone is pretty much perfect for most people, I think that's why Apple sort of sells it as the standard size. But yeah, choosing these devices is a deliberate choice, and it does contribute to, I don't know, more of a free ability to just kind of put these in your pocket and forget about them. When you have an iPad Pro 11-inch or bigger, or an iPhone like 13 6.1-inch display or bigger, you're gonna know where that form factor is, you're gonna feel it in your pocket, and you're also gonna see it in a bag. Our next question comes from Imagitron, and he says, hi there, from a YouTuber's perspective, do you think this combo is good to run a small channel considering the iPhone's camera quality and the iPad's power? Thanks. Yes, I think so. The iPhone 13 mini, like its 13 Pro brethren, has just incredible cameras. Obviously, the Pro models are better, but you get a larger sensor size here, and most people use the 1X camera anyway. I certainly do, and the 4K video quality coming out of this is just phenomenal. It's not exactly like mirrorless level, but it's so impressive here with the bokeh that you get from the larger sensor, and just Apple's video quality in general. They're always on top of their game when it comes to smartphone video. Not only that, even though you could technically edit on this phone, you then have an equally powerful device, which is the iPad mini, with the Apple Pencil and, for example, LumaFusion, which is better suited for, you know, an iPad form factor. And while this isn't the biggest display, you do have more room, and you also get USB Type-C. God forbid you do get a better camera, so you can more easily connect a dongle and like an SD card and read and write faster, and also use, I think you can use an external SSD with LumaFusion now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, the iPhone 13 mini takes incredible video. And it's so pocketable, it's crazy that you can just like put this in your pocket and pull it out and just get the image quality that you get. So long story short, if you're starting out, this is such a great setup, because at the end of the day, gear isn't everything, but this is also great gear for basic, you know, YouTube film work. I would think, I started out on a phone, so I could definitely recommend it. I started out on an iPhone 5S, so anything's better than that. And these devices are very powerful and able to push, you know, a video editing, content creation workflow. Our next question is asked by NovoPact, and he says, or she says, got the iPhone mini and planning to replace my iPad Pro 11-inch with the new iPad mini. Mainly, I use it as a couch device, and I'm wondering if it's easy to hold one-handed for some hours. Well, I'm gonna actually apply this question to both of these devices, and the answer is yes. Specifically with the iPad mini, it is so nice to be able to just kind of lean back on your couch and watch a show or read a book without having a lot of surface area to worry about. And same thing goes with the iPhone mini models, which maybe he didn't ask that, but I'll just say this here. It's so comfortable to hold. That's the one thing I love about it. I can pull it out of my pocket and just one hand something. I miss that. You know, like I have the 13 Pro Max in my pocket right now, and though I love this phone for its massive display and camera quality and all that stuff and the battery life, it's just so massive. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely, there's a sacrifice involved with having this large display. And yeah, this is just so refreshing. I actually appreciate the fact that I have the 13 Pro Max because it makes me appreciate this form factor, and I'm lucky in that I get to have all these phones. But if you're somebody that values, you know, like one-handed usability and just comfortability after a long time scrolling on TikTok or Twitter or just the internet, this is so nice. So both of these devices are very comfortable to use, and that's a big sort of benefit with going mini with regard to iPad and iPhone. Our next question comes from MF, and they say, hi Noah, which productivity apps maximize this elite combo? Could you show us a quick example? Thank you. Yeah, I have a perfect example, at least in my usage case. This is an app that some people like, some people hate, Notion. This keeps me on track. This is the reason why I'm sitting here and able to shoot this video. Otherwise, I'd be a disorganized mess because I'm naturally kind of just jumbled as it is. So this app has helped me to consolidate my tasks that I need to do in a day. And I basically make a bunch of checklists for my content to-do list and like just a general to-do list. So we're on my weekly agenda right now. So look at this, I can check off some stuff. For example, on my iPhone, if I was to pull it out of my pocket, I could just very quickly just sort of go, okay, I'm shooting the Mini 2 A-roll. I had dinner with my friend. I have to edit this video, so I will check these individually on my phone because it's just so convenient to do so with one hand. But if I want to input some, you know, something to do, I'd rather do it on here, maybe with the keyboard because there's a bigger keyboard that I can just sort of type on, or I can write something in with the Apple Pencil, so I can write like eat ice cream. Maybe that'll show up. Yeah, so there you go. That's just the next thing to do on my to-do list after I'm done editing, which will probably end at around 3. But there's no bad time for ice cream and caramel sauce, so we will attend to that. So yeah, and then once I'm you know at that point, I'll whip out my phone again and check these boxes. Although I can't check them now because I actually haven't gotten these tasks done. So that's an example of a productivity app. Hopefully that is a good demonstration. But of course, there are so many other productivity apps that probably are more convenient to just pull out on your phone and attend to there, or maybe just to view information. And then with regard to inputting information, the iPad mini, even though it's small, is still a really great device, especially with the Apple Pencil. Our next question comes from Mads Hu Thompson. I totally mispronounced their name, so sorry. When would you rather pull out the iPhone over the iPad and vice versa? They ask. And that's a great question because there are distinct usage cases for both these devices. Number one, obviously phone calls with the iPhone 13 mini. That's kind of a sort of exclusive feature of this phone. Although, you know, you got cellular capability here, so you can technically communicate with people. But this is gonna be for phone calls. It's also gonna be for, you know, one-handed typing with this nice little small keyboard. Although it's, you know, you make some compromise when you're doing regular typing, but still, one-hand ability is very underrated. I also like TikTok for this device. It's very, you know, once again, one-handable and easy to sort of scroll through. So I like it for that. All right, bye, Dwayne. But when it comes to like reading stuff, watching YouTube videos, and even playing games, I'm going to pick up the iPad mini. Also because there's no compromise between these displays here. I mean, I think the iPhone, I know the iPhone 13 mini's display can get brighter, but this is perfectly fine. It's at the same refresh rate. And it's bigger, it's more enjoyable for, I guess, heavier content consumption. Also, too, this device gets better battery life. And I'm not gonna answer too many questions about battery life. I'm gonna kind of roll it into this explanation. But in terms of just like screen on time for both of these, from what I've heard from people and from what I've seen in reviews, because I'm not super scientific with this stuff, this is gonna get you about 6 hours on a good day when you're just, you know, doing basic stuff and just, you know, treating it right and not completely draining it. As for the iPad mini, I'm hearing around 10 hours, which is very close to Apple's sort of, you know, estimation or whatever, their mileage to usage or whatever you want to call it. Of course, depending on if you're doing typical stuff like web surfing and video watching, maybe some light gaming. Obviously, if you're recording a lot of video on the iPhone 13 mini, for example, or playing a bunch of games on both of these, you're going to drain the battery quicker. But yeah, kind of going back to the initial question, when would you rather pull out the iPhone over the iPad? Like I said, it depends on what you're doing. When it comes to, once again, communication, quick content consumption, the iPhone 13 mini is fantastic. But when it comes to more, I guess, intensive media consumption and also work, of course, this is what you're gonna wanna pull out to either consume or get to work with the pencil for annotation or just any kind of input, rather than just your fat fingers. You know, for example, like LumaFusion, which kind of goes back to that question about content consumption. Obviously, you're gonna pull this out for this kind of work because the iPhone 13 mini is simply too small for it. And while we're on the topic of display, I want to answer a question that was asked multiple times. I just chose one of them. Silver Arrow asks, review iPad mini jelly scroll issue, bro. Here's what I have to say. If you record the screen in slow motion, you're probably going to see this effect. But in real life, real world usage, I promise you, I have sat here and went like this and just scrolled up and down all around and just used this device like a normal person. And it's not a problem. I think that people, you know, unnecessarily will shit on Apple devices just to do that for clicks. I'm not saying there's never a reason to do it. Like, I've had my gripes about the iPad Pro and the lack of optimization and just like the lack of ports on MacBooks and lightning on iPhone. Like, that's just stupid. There's a lot to criticize when it comes to Apple products, but this is something I think is a bit of a stretch. I think nobody is gonna notice this, and if I'm not noticing it and I notice stuff like ProMotion and True Tone and all that other stuff, I don't think it's an issue. I'm not invalidating other people. Maybe they have units that have a worse condition with this, but I and my buddy Christopher Lawley, we were talking about this today, we use this device quite a bit, and he uses it more than me, and he said he doesn't notice it. So that's just my take. I'm not saying I'm completely right about this. I'm not saying jelly scroll isn't an issue. All I'm saying is I think from what I have seen, I don't think it's a deal breaker at all. I think if anything, a better gripe would be the lack of 120 hertz in this device, but the same can be said about the iPad Air. So that's something to think about. That's something to maybe, you know, make you reconsider or wait for a future iteration of this mini form factor. But if you're concerned about jelly scroll, I don't think you should be. I think it's a nitpick, and I think that people are overemphasizing it just to, you know, garner impressions and views. Our next question comes from Jessica, and they ask, hi, please can you show the front-facing camera video quality in the highest resolution it can shoot up to? Thanks. Great question. I will do that, but first I want to make a distinction between these two cameras here. Both the front-facing cameras on these devices are 12 megapixel, but the one on the 13 mini is more for front-facing video up to 4K 60, I believe, and just portrait selfies and now portrait-style video, which is called cinematic mode, whereas the iPad mini, I think, could shoot up to 1080p 60 on the front and, of course, 4K 60 on the back, like the Air 4, which is kind of designed after. But more so, this camera is designed for really interactive video calls with center stage. It's a really wide camera which sort of digitally crops in and follows you around the room. I'll probably show you a little B-roll clip showcasing that. But yeah, very different cameras in here for different reasons. And to specifically answer this question, as you can see here on the front, we're seeing 4K 60 is the highest recording quality and like frame rate on the iPhone 13 mini, whereas on the iPad mini, it's HD 60, which is by no means bad. I've seen worse on iPads in years past, especially the 5th generation mini, which is so different from this device. I'll probably compare them within the month of October, by the way. So yeah, I can also give you a quick little demo here of just the drastic difference here. So this is, I'm gonna shoot in cinematic mode on the iPhone 13 mini, and also maybe like go over here and sort of change the focus to my light and then like back to me, and I'll probably play that as I'm doing it. And then on the iPad here, I can record HD 60 video, which is not bad by any means. It actually looks pretty decent, but obviously it's nowhere close to the quality of the iPhone 13 mini, which again is designed to give you better looking video. So that's again sort of why this is a pretty elite setup for YouTubers or content creators, because again, you can record front-facing video or back-facing video with the iPhone, import that onto your iPad, which itself shoots lesser quality video, but good enough stuff to like do work and productivity and video calls and stuff like that. Our next question comes from Ben Aqua, and they ask, why do some like it small and some like it big? Well, Ben, some of us are size queens and some of us aren't. So you take that whatever way you will. And finally, our last question comes from Aditya, and he asks, wallpaper? Yeah, I can tell you all about the wallpapers that I have in here. I have them on pretty much every device that I use, like at least mobile ones, and they are Canupsi Supernova wallpapers 1 and 2 here. I have a 1 version on my iPad mini and a 2 version he just released recently, so I will leave a link in the video description for that. I love his work. I love to show it off on my phone, and yeah, go support him. He's a great guy. If you don't know who he is, I'm sure a lot of you do, and he does amazing work, and he's a great friend. So please check him out. I highly encourage you to have these wallpapers. They just make your phone stand out and pop, and I love repping them on all my new devices. And that about wraps things up here. I hope this video was informative and also fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed this Star Wars cosplay as much as I have, although this helmet is itching like crazy and I have to take it off before I lose my mind. So I will wrap it up here. Leave a like, comment if you want to, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. I have an iPad 9th gen video coming soon. I know a lot of creators aren't covering that, but I have a video kind of going over why it's a great buy. And of course, I'm gonna be reviewing iPhones as well, and I'm getting ready for a Mac event. So stay tuned, subscribe for more tech and Star Wars. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.